At number 10, we have killing kids. Darth Vader, formerly Anakin Skywalker, was a truly sick individual. His very first act was killing countless Jedi younglings. After he helped Palpatine kill Mace Windu, Anakin knew there was no turning back. To cement his place in the dark side, he did the unthinkable. He slaughtered the younglings in the Jedi Temple. What makes this so horrifying is that these kids looked up to Anakin as a hero. At the time, he was considered one of the greatest Jedi ever. The younglings didn't even know what was happening when Anakin, their hero, turned on his lightsaber and killed them one by one. Anakin knew that allowing them to live could mean facing powerful enemies in the future, as they might seek revenge for the Jedi slaughter. Anakin didn't just kill to solidify his power. He betrayed and murdered innocent children who saw him as a protector. This act alone shows how deeply he had sunk into the dark side and the lengths he would go to secure his power. Shooting a girl into the vacuum of space. Imagine being so terrified of your boss that you have to make a special request about how you want to die. That's what happened with Aphra. She told Vader that if he ever decided to kill her, she didn't want to be thrown out into space. Anything else was fine, but the idea of being shot out of an airlock freaked her out. Vader's known for eliminating his rivals, and Aphra knew her time was running out. When chaos erupted from Vader killing his other rivals, she tried to save herself by ratting him out to Palpatine. Big mistake. She completely misread the situation because Palpatine was actually impressed with Vader's plan. After her plan backfired spectacularly, she was left alone with Vader, who was super pissed off. Despite her specific plea, he decided to kill her in the exact way she feared most, by grabbing her and throwing her into an airlock and shooting her out into the vacuum of space. Imagine knowing your boss would ignore your last request just to be extra cruel. Killing countless generals. First off, the guy is a total secretive control freak. The few stormtroopers who accidentally found out he was Anakin Skywalker, yeah, he killed them. His identity was a huge secret, only known by a handful of people. Even some of the top brass like Tarkin and Thrawn had to figure it out themselves, or just hint at it without saying it outright. Secondly, Vader's a brutal disciplinarian. He didn't just kill anyone for minor slip-ups, but if you screwed up majorly or repeatedly, you were done. Admiral Ozzel is a prime example. Despite being a highly experienced and dedicated officer who spent decades in service, Vader killed him for one mistake. Same thing happened to Captain Nita, who was just trying to apologize for a failure. And let's not forget Commander Kanchar, who got killed for doing his job too well. Now think about the sheer terror of working in that environment. Imagine if your boss could literally choke you to death with a thought if you messed up. He even used his own stormtroopers as human shields, smashing them together to block sniper shots. And why does Palpatine let this slide? It's baffling. You'd think he'd realize that constantly killing experienced officers would weaken the military, especially during wartime. Killing a man 9 times. Vader was sent to Mustafar by Palpatine with the Mask of Momine and a crew to help him build a base. Shortly after arriving, Momin, the Sith architect, corrupts a crew member and kills the original architect to take over the project. He then starts sketching out a design to unlock the dark side energy in the cave. Here's where it gets wild. Every time Momin's design didn't meet Vader's standards, Vader would kill him and force him to possess another body to try again. This happened 8 times before Momin finally got it right on the 9th try. But just when Momin thought he'd succeeded, he used the dark side energy to resurrect his own body and challenge Vader. Of course, Vader wasn't having any of it. When the battle between them reached its peak, Vader decided enough was enough and simply crushed Momin to death with the Force. He flooded an entire city. When Vader was trying to get his red lightsaber, he had to kill a Jedi Master to do so. But instead of a fair fight, he cheated in the worst way possible. Knowing he couldn't beat the Jedi Master in a straight duel, Vader flooded an entire city, home to nearly 300,000 people, to create a distraction. The Jedi Master tried to use the Force to stop the flooding and save the innocent people, but Vader took advantage of this moment. He force-choked the Jedi, lifting him into the air. The Jedi Master pleaded for Vader to spare the innocent and just kill him, but Vader didn't care. He snapped the Jedi's neck and watched as the city flooded, killing thousands upon thousands of people. He then took the Jedi's lightsaber, corrupted the crystal, and turned it into his iconic red lightsaber. That same red lightsaber would go on to kill countless more innocent people. Killed hospital patients. Over the course of an hour, Vader attacked a village, ruthlessly killing men, women, and children. But things got really horrific when he entered a hospital full of people already badly injured, some missing limbs. Vader offered them a single chance to surrender. They had to bow to him. All the patients refused to submit, standing up and defiantly rejecting him. This infuriated Vader, and he decided to take matters into his own hands, cutting down every last one of them. His clone trooper watched in horror, even begging Vader to stop at one point. Vader turned and glared at the trooper, debating whether to kill him too. In the end, Vader burned the entire village to the ground, leaving no one alive except that lone clone trooper to tell the gruesome tale. This is just a glimpse of why encountering Vader would be a nightmare. He's relentless, merciless, and driven by pure rage. Forced two lovers to kill each other. Vader hated the Inquisitors a lot. Most of the Inquisitors started as Jedi who fell to the dark side, just like Darth Vader, and this got on his nerves more than anything, because it reminded him of his past failures, especially the tragic night he lost to Obi-Wan. As a result, Vader treated them with extreme brutality, inflicting the worst injuries imaginable, cutting off limbs, blinding them, and making them suffer in horrific ways. He had zero tolerance for failure or disobedience. If an Inquisitor failed or did something remotely wrong, the punishment was instant death. One strict rule he enforced was that Inquisitors could not fall in love with each other. When two Inquisitors did fall in love, it was their death sentence. Vader hunted them down, froze them in place, and then bent their arms to ignite their lightsabers into each other, torturing the Grand Inquisitor for all of eternity. Encountering Darth Vader would seriously suck, and here's a prime example why. First off, take the Grand Inquisitor. When he first failed Vader, he chose what he thought was the easy way out, only to discover a more sinister fate awaited him. He found ancient artifacts, including a temple guard's lightsaber. As Luke reached for it, the spirit of the Grand Inquisitor appeared and attacked him. This Inquisitor was trapped there as a punishment from Vader, stuck in eternal servitude at the outpost. Luke, inspired by the Jedi legacy, defeated the Inquisitor and left with the lightsaber. But here's the thing. The entire outpost was a trap designed by Vader. Through ancient Sith sorcery, Vader had trapped the Inquisitor's soul in the temple, punishing him for an eternity of torment for his failure. This wasn't just about physical punishment. Vader wanted the Inquisitor to face a fate worse than death. So, encountering Darth Vader means you're not just dealing with a powerful Sith Lord, you're facing someone who can doom your soul to eternal torment. If that's not a reason to avoid Vader at all costs, I don't know what is. Tortured his own daughter and killed billions upon billions of people. We all know Darth Vader is a sick man, but trust me, he's much, much worse than you may think. Here's a glimpse of his twisted nature. Remember when he blew up his daughter Leia's planet Alderaan and forced her to watch? She begged and screamed for him not to do it, but Vader didn't care. He went ahead anyway, killing billions of people and countless species in one horrific act. And that's just the beginning. Vader tortured Leia in the most excruciating way possible. People might think he used the Force, but no, it was an interrogation droid. This droid could warp the nerves of the person it was used on, making them feel whatever the torturer described. Vader told his own daughter she was on fire and in immense pain, and that's exactly what she experienced. He forced his stormtroopers to watch the entire thing. Many of them joined the Empire thinking they were doing the right thing, but hearing Leia's screams for mercy got into their heads. But they couldn't do anything about it because standing on the other side was Darth freaking Vader, who would kill them without hesitation if they interrupted him. So yeah, Vader isn't just sick. He's a sadistic monster who enjoys inflicting pain and suffering, even on his own daughter. That's why you don't mess with Darth Vader.